Welcome back to the channel. You are watching Journey with Us, a digital nomad entrepreneur, I should say, serial entrepreneur, family of 7, traveling throughout Southeastern Africa. And today you are about to get some real gems, okay? Because we're going to talk about if you want to diversify your life in Africa with a business, you're going to want to watch this till the end because I'm going to tell you the single biggest mistake Black Americans make when moving to Africa. And we're going to bust some myths, and then we're going to get into how to actually structure a business in Africa before you leave America. Because if you have not already started a business in America, it's going to be extremely difficult to start it in Africa, okay? And so let's get into it. Let's just hop right in. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And remember to share this for the people who want to move to Africa or South America and start their business and stop relying on their 9 to 5. So, number one mistake is that Black Americans or Americans in general think that because they have the strong USD, that they can just get that savings and just throw it into an African business and then it's just going to pop off. And this is not a fact. It's not going to happen like that. I don't know anyone that has successfully done that, but I have watched people do it, assuming that because you have tens of thousands of dollars, you can just invest and then the business will see a return. The gap that people are not accounting for is the business fundamental idea of supply and demand. Sure, you may be able to start the business, you may be able to get the registration going and all that stuff. But then when it's time to meet the market demand, you're going to find that there is no demand for that particular offer. And then you're going to find that you're trying to sell something to crickets. And so it doesn't work. So instead, what you should be doing is starting your business in America. This is what we did in 2016 while I was still working in healthcare. I was starting a creative studio business that has helped us merge into Africa and to diversify our investments and gold and other businesses and course creation and a lot of different other businesses and different ventures, even creating a children's book, okay? But had we not started that from the beginning, the story would have been totally different. And this is where most people go wrong. They're just not willing to do the work to find mentorship, to invest in their business before they get to Africa. They have this fast, let me just throw something at the wall and it's going to stick mentality. That is the absolute worst thing you can do in business. You wouldn't do that if you were building a business in America. To be honest, if you're building a business in America, even if it's a freelance agency, a consulting firm, what you're going to do, you're going to take your time. You're going to do your research. You're going to go through this phase of seeing which business coach is right for you, seeing what type of funding you can get, networking with your peers, right? You're going to be starting to doing social media marketing, email marketing. You're going to get the word out. You're going to perfect your client outcomes. All of that is a process that takes at least a year, at the very least. And so the idea that you're just going to sell your house, use all your savings and throw it at a business, you shouldn't even be thinking like that as an adult, okay? Instead, what you want to think of doing is saying, okay, if I want to start a brick and mortar, how am I going to attract the right audience and proof the concept? This can only be done when you start in America, okay? You're gonna have to start the brick and mortar in America or start an e-commerce level of it in America, okay? I've seen this work lots of times, even with wellness companies that started out with their wellness products in America, then they moved to Africa and either sell them also in Africa while marketing themselves online and marketing their authority and expertise, and then talking to people in the African country they're in, or they will go ahead and add it as a different branch of their business, similar to what we do with Journey with Us, because our first creative firm is called Tiffy G Wrights, okay? Back in 2016, serving real estate, finance, e-commerce brands, some of the top Black businesses on the face of this earth through that agency. So then what we did with Journey with Us, which is what you're watching right now, we create content, we educate you guys, and then we just continue this content creation process so that we have a product. We have a few different products. You can check them out down below. but the product is the course that teaches you how to run your business and how to market your business specifically, because there's a few different levels of running a business. It's just not all marketing. Some is finance, some is HR, some is finding out how to get financing and funding for the business, which is different than business finance, okay? And so you have a lot of legs of your business. And so if you're someone that does not have business fundamentals at all, you've never run a successful business for over 3 to 5 years, you are going to want to grab Multiply Your Talents or join Black Educators Amplified. Straight up. You do not want to make the same mistake that thousands and thousands of people have made coming to Africa, throwing money at a wall, and then not having any type of online presence, not really having a real business, just having a hobby. Now, the Black American entrepreneurs, if you're looking, the ones that have success are online. Now, people may be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be online. The truth is, if you don't want to be online and you don't want to be in person, then you're not going to have a business. That's it. If you don't want to show up, then you're not going to have a business. You might as well just stay in the 9 to 5 forever, because business requires you to show up on camera if you're not going to be showing up in person. So I have a question for you. Like, this is a real question. If you're not going to be showing up in person, you're not going to go to networking events, and then you're also not going to show up online, how are people supposed to start trusting you? Well, I'll give you the answer. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to trust you. And although you may be overqualified, without that trust factor, people are not going to buy. They're going to browse on and go to your competition because they were willing to show up and do a 10-minute video, a 15-minute video 2 times per week, every single week. And that's just the reality, okay? So myth number 1, we have already covered that, is that your African brick and mortar will pop off without knowledge of business. That's a myth. That's fantasy world. Let's bring it back down to reality, okay? You need to understand market positioning. You have to understand messaging. You have to know the difference between supply and demand. Just because there's a gap in the market does not mean that there's going to be demand for that product. Now you're like, okay, great. Now how do I find the demand? This is where you want to test the messaging and test the offer. You can do this through offering consultations. You can do this through creating a free ebook just to see if people are actually interested in it. Okay, there's a variety of ways of doing this that we cover in Black Educators Amplified. Okay, next myth: you don't need to be online to run a successful company. Like I was just saying, some people think that they're just going to, I don't know how they think this, but they think they're going to have a business with clients that trust them and the business is going to pop off and it's going to be successful. And yet they don't want to be online. So you don't want to run ads. You don't want to do organic social media marketing. You don't want to do email marketing. You don't want to write your website and create blogs. You don't want to do video marketing. So how are people finding out about your business? Leave a comment down below if you know the answer. If you're not doing any of these, how are people finding out? Because the way that marketing and business works, let's take it back to the beginning of the advertising industry, or at least let's talk about in the 80s and 90s how this would work without internet, before the internet stage. So back then, people would go door to door via a salesperson. You would have your business person that is in the brick and mortar in the office, and then you have your salespeople going out door to door. Now, this was a little over the top because there's no intentionality. There's not the ability to target, but they had to get those reps in because statistically, if I knock on 100 doors, at least 20% of people are going to want what I'm offering. Hopefully, if I'm a good salesperson, right? Or a decent salesperson. Now, in the age of internet, people don't do that. So I'm assuming if you're a Black educator or you want to become an educator or someone who already has expertise in a particular area and you want to offer your services or create a course, you're not going to be going door to door throughout your whole neighborhood. Is it safe to assume that you're not going to be going door to door? If yes, the next step is to ask, okay, if you're not going to be going door to door, are you going to be going to networking events every week? If the answer is no, and by the way, even if you are going to networking events, you also need a social media brand presence to even get people to trust you. That's just the day and the time we're in, okay? Some of my colleagues, they work with dental firms. I work with finance and tax relief firms, wellness companies, e-commerce brands, All of these businesses that see success within our agency have an online presence. Like, they are uploading on social media nonstop all the time. And so don't be the person that's like, I'm waiting for everything to be perfect. I'm waiting for a microphone before I start the podcast. I'm waiting for the best $10,000 website before I upload on my website. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that. You're going to be waiting and waiting forever, and you're not going to get anything done. One of the funniest things actually that I was talking about with the client inside of our creative agency, this is a client based in America. We've been working together for a while now, but we're on the phone and she's like, I don't even have a website. I just wanted to get client outcomes first. And she started distributing her message via email marketing and ads. And it's literally like, if you just get conversations going about your audience, not about your product, about your audience and the main problem they're experiencing, then sales happen naturally. But if you're not getting these touch points in to even have conversations with people every single day, then sales aren't going to happen. Sales only happen through conversation. It's not something that ChatGPT can do. It's something that you have to do. A lot of people have this like lazy mentality now of, let me just have AI write everything. And then 6 months later, they're out of business. And then they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Well, you messed everything up. And I hate to say it like that, but seriously, you messed the trust factor up with your audience to where you could have been driving empathy. You could have been driving these emotional appeals. You could have created a real raw connection to show them that you have something of value for them. But instead, you wanted to go the shortcut route and use ChatGPT. And the thing is, AI and robots cannot have emotions. They do not empathize very well. And so while AI is okay for the research phase of business and like pulling data and statistics, when it comes to creating a message position, it's not a prompt that you can type into AI. Your message position comes from the target market research that you are doing on social media, or that you are doing in person, or that you are doing through networking events, or that you are doing through blogs. Whatever your route of research is, that is how you're bringing the information to the market. Then, after identifying those problems that people have articulated through their own language, you find gaps in the market to create your education consultant business, okay? That's how it works. That's how we build our businesses. That's how everyone builds a successful business. It takes legwork. You can't have this lazy mindset and be like, okay, I'm just going to skip all the hard work and everything's going to be great. It's not going to be great when you do that. Next myth. This is number 3. You think that you are not qualified, but ma'am, sir, I'm telling you, you are overqualified. Out here in America, we take for granted our knowledge a lot, even if you're just someone that was in sales and customer service or even operations. What you're not really realizing is you can become a virtual executive assistant at the lowest level. This is the lowest skill level, administration virtual assistant. You package this for small businesses across the continent, and you package this for businesses in America before you ever even leave. That gives you leverage to show, hey, I've been doing this. I have this website up. I have these case studies. Can I do this for you for free for a month to see if it's relevant in your country of choosing, if it's Ghana, if it's Zambia, if it's Mozambique, South Africa? And then the person's going to be like, sure. And then once they see the results, it's a no-brainer. It's like, why would I not pay somebody for this? Are you kidding? Absolutely. And so then you just have to find the right market price and the market fit, okay? But you are overqualified coming from America every single time. You are overqualified, okay? Whether it's customer service, mathematics, history, finance, taxes, bookkeeping. What else do we have? There's so many other ones. I've even started to see more nurses quit their jobs and help other nurses to quit their jobs, or help other nurses have some kind of comfort and community setting. It's so interesting. And so the opportunities are out there, but until you believe that you are overqualified, it's not going to work. So I want you to understand that you are qualified. You are overqualified. You wouldn't have been on that job that long in the position that you were in if you were not qualified. That company sees something in you that you don't see in you. And just because they're paying you $20, $25 an hour does not mean that you are not qualified. You've been doing that work 40 hours a week for years. You just need to learn how to bring a product to market. And this is exactly what Black Educators Amplified is for. So you can package a product, check the supply and demand, so you're not just launching a product that's not going to work, and then getting your marketing right so that after the end of the 8 weeks together with 4 other entrepreneurs in Black Educators Amplified, that happens on July 7th at 2 p.m. by the way. We're going to work together for 8 weeks. We're going to proof your offers. You're going to have your website copy, critiqued and written by me. And then you are going to walk away with your 3 to 6 month content marketing calendar. The cash is in the content. The clientele is in the content. This is where you have to be willing to create content every single day. You don't have to do it on weekends. I don't do it on weekends. But if it's a weekday, create content, be confident, get on camera. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but guess what? You get to choose between being broke uncomfortable and not having a business and relying on your 9 to 5, or being an entrepreneur uncomfortable and living your best life and having more leverage so that you can save, so that you can invest in gold and precious metals, so you can invest in real estate, so you can leave a legacy for your family. So you want to choose your hard, right? We chose this route. You can choose it too. It's up to you. Just check out the link in the description to apply and join. Again, there's only 4 spots left. Now, the next phase of this video, I want to talk about website versus messaging versus hoping and structuring without marketing. This is another huge pitfall that entrepreneurs make, not just people who come to Africa, but entrepreneurs in the States make this, okay? And it's thinking that you are just going to start your business, you're going to form your LLC, or you're going to be a sole proprietor, a freelancer, whatever it is. You're going to create this course and everything's going to be good because you know what you're talking about, and you do know what you're talking about. You're an expert. But the area that you're not an expert in is marketing and bringing a new product to market and proofing that product. So you think, oh, I don't really need a website. I'm just going to post on social media maybe 3 times a month, and then that's going to be enough. And newsflash, it's not going to be enough, because according to HubSpot, it takes on average someone 6 to 12 times to see your business, to see you on camera right here, before making a buying decision. And so how did you get that 6 to 12 reps in if you're not even creating content more than 3 times a month? And if it's less than that and you're one of those people like, yeah, I'm gonna just send a monthly newsletter, guess what? By next month, everybody already forgot about you. Sorry. And so you want to this is all data and statistics driven when we're looking at marketing. If I know that it takes a buyer 6 to 12 times on average to see me before trusting me, and then I know I want to create an offer in the next 2 months and launch it, then it's only logical that I need to be showing up at least 2 times per week, at the very least. Ideally, you should be showing up 3 times to 4 times per week. High quality content, okay? Not just how-to content, but content that moves someone from being unaware of who you are, unaware that they have a problem, to being solution aware and aware of their problem, and then being in the consideration phase where they can say, hey, I know I have this problem, I'm ready to spend money on it, but I just need to check a box and see if I want to work with you or see if I want to work with someone else. And that type of content only happens when you're creating it consistently. You can only get your audience to make those decisions when the content is created consistently through email marketing, through messaging, through your website, okay? So the foundation of everything that we do in Black Educators Amplified, by the way, this is cohort 3, 4 people have already gone through and launched their businesses. Now, the foundation of this is what we actually do in our agency, Tiffy Writes, where we serve clients and have them go through a 20-question framework. This is foundational to honing in on their message, because that language is going to be used to help people understand if they are the right fit for your education offer. Okay? Because you can't chat GPT your way through this. You can try, but most people who've tried that for the past year are looking at their bank account, and then now they're also looking at AI, and they're looking at YouTube and seeing, oh, something went wrong. What can I do? Right? So if you're one of those people who's chat GPT and through it and you're like, I'm not seeing sales, you want to get in this program, because messaging is everything. Marketing is everything. Before you have a website, before you create emails, before you can even market your business, you have to have a brand message. Okay, you have to understand the 3 emotions your audience is going through before working with you, and the 3 emotions they're going through after working with you. On top of the 20 question framework that we do to pull the gold out of your offers, because it takes a lot of different positioning in each phase of the buyer's journey to get people to see if they want to book a call with you. And I know that sounds like a lot of hard work. And let's face it, at your job, you worked 40 hours a week, but you're not willing to put in at least 20 hours per week into your own business. And so it's hard to have a business if you're not willing to do the work. So we implore you to go ahead and join Black Educators Amplified. We start July 7th. There are 4 spots available. This is for you if you are ready to get off the confusion hamster wheel of going on Google and saying, how do I market my business? And then looking at ChatGPT and then feeling frozen and feeling like, oh my gosh, what do I do? This is time to take action. It's time to be an executive decision maker and execute on your marketing strategy. And I'm here to help you. We've got your back, okay? Check out the link in the description to learn more, to see if it's the right fit for you. Like this, share this, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk soon.